Well, we know it has been an extremely difficult week for you. It has been for us, too. We are here with you.
Very painful. The city is in a lot of pain. We have a nation in a state of shock, but the world is witnessing this city's resolve to be back and to be back better than ever. If you're tuning in tonight to get any updates on the investigation into the shooting, we've deliberately decided tonight not to do that.
That's right. We are focusing on the heroes tonight. The everyday people who went above and beyond to save people they didn't even know.
Tonight, we're telling the stories of those heroes as the community begins to heal.
There was one bad man that night and hundreds of good people that night and thousands since then.
In the middle of tragedy, heroes are born.
My mother is alive because of you.
Out of chaos rises hope.
It was completely horrible, but it was absolutely amazing to see all the people come together.
Now, as our city heals, we celebrate our heroes on 13 Action News, live at 11.
And we thank you for joining us tonight. We're joining you live on the Las Vegas Strip, literally about a mile from Mandalay Bay, where it's hard to believe, but it's been 5 nights since this all happened. A lone gunman took 58 lives and changed the lives forever of countless others.
And out of all of that darkness comes the light. Now, what's known as Vegas Strong. That's what Las Vegas has embodied. And it's a beautiful scene just amongst the Strip. You may have seen the 58 white crosses. They're there at the fabulous Welcome to Las Vegas sign, each one for a victim. We're seeing an outpouring of love and support here in our community, and if you haven't been by, you need to go by that growing memorial. This video just taken about an hour ago showing the number of people stopping to honor those lives lost.
For a lot of locals, we know you've been looking for a place to heal, to begin that process, a place of peace. Tonight, several miles from the scene here on the Strip, a community healing garden was unveiled in downtown Las Vegas. It's a beautiful place. It features a wall of remembrance surrounded by a grove of trees and flowers, creating something beautiful out of something that began so horrifically. Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman was on hand for the ribbon-cutting ceremony tonight and addressed the community.
These trees that will live on and on and on, and this garden, this healing garden for the families most particularly, but for all of us who love this and see that black mark of October 1st. We really are a strong community.
And the most amazing part of that garden, every single thing here was donated by members of the community.
My mother is alive because of you.
One of the most heart-wrenching stories of heroism was from Paige Melanson, a Las Vegas beauty queen attending the festival. She was there with her mother and sister.
That's right. Paige's mother was shot in the chest and unable to run. And then comes a complete stranger who happened to be a retired firefighter, saving her life. 13 Action News anchor Carla Wade has more tonight.
Paige and Rosemarie Melanson, seen here cheek to cheek, faces beaming, just before a barrage of gunfire at the Route 91 Harvest Festival. Not knowing the bond between mother and daughter would soon be tested.
She was facing the grass, and that's when I knew something was wrong.
Paige and her sister Stephanie dodging gunfire themselves, and now confronted with a life or death decision as their mother's life hangs in the balance.
And I just kept screaming at my mom to look at me and that it wasn't her time to go. And I remember how cold she felt.
As they grappled with an agonizing decision to stay with their mother or run for cover, along came a hero.
He looked at my sister and I and said, you know, if you need to go now, if you want to stay alive, you need to run. And we had to leave our mom laying there.
They would later learn that hero was retired Los Angeles firefighter Don Matthews, who stayed with Rosemarie so her daughters could escape with their lives.
My mother is alive because of you.
3 days later, via FaceTime, Paige, along with her father, finally got a chance to thank him.
But I promised your daughters I would be there with her.
Yes, you did. And you kept your promise.
Rosemarie, who was shot in the torso, now able to focus on her recovery, knowing her daughters are safe. All because a hero came along.
I really wanted your daughters out of there.
Carla Wade, 13 Action News.
We love you, Father!
A ceremony held tonight before the homecoming game at Faith Lutheran to honor two twins shot during the attack. Both twins have now been released from the hospital. Gianna was shot in the leg as both ran for their lives. Natalia was not as lucky, hit in the shoulder, and parts of bullets spread to her lungs. But she was released today and said she didn't want to miss tonight's homecoming for the world.
I really love these girls, and this school is family to me, so I didn't want to miss it, even though I'm very tired and hurting, but made it out.
She looks amazing. And another Faith Lutheran alumni was shot in the attack and was honored in tonight's ceremony as well. And throughout the week, we've heard so many incredible stories of people amongst all the chaos just rushing in to help and do whatever they can.
Whatever they could. 13 Action News reporter Joe Bartels has the story of one man who found himself in the middle of that shooting scene, and it was all recorded on his dash cam.
Dash camera rolling, it's just after 10 o'clock, and retired cop Philip Brittle was just trying to pick up his friend at the airport when he came across a gruesome scene.
I see people limping across the street, people carrying people across the street.
Philip was in his Jaguar convertible, 2 seats, that's it. His dash camera installed just last week, and now he was in a sea of people in need.
What the hell happened?
We need cars, we need cars.
I'm loading right here. What the hell happened? Have you got a victim?
Yeah, but we got no room for
I can take a small person.
A second later, his dash camera capturing a man carried in a wheelbarrow. He was loaded into Philip's front seat. He had been shot twice.
My intent was to make sure this guy was conscious and that he could maintain a conversation back and forth.
This old cop kept his wits, getting behind an ambulance on the way to the hospital.
I'm dying. I'm at Sunrise Hospital.
Hang tight, bud. We're gonna get you there.
Stop, 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 stop.
I flashed my lights, honked my horn, and they allowed us to go through.
Philip says his cop training kicked in and got his injured passenger to the hospital.
The only thing I felt really, really bad about is that I didn't take my larger 4-door car and have room to take more victims to the hospital.
Philip said his passenger couldn't contact his girlfriend and he didn't get his name. This veteran says he did what he had to do because it was the right thing to do. Joe Bartels, 13 Action News.
Another example of the right people being in the right place at the right time. If you've had a chance to drive down the Strip anytime this week, you might have noticed something a little different. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority has been using the iconic hotel marquees along the Strip to send a special message to the world. It reads, quote, "We've been there for you during the good times. Thank you for being there for us now."
And we're hearing so many stories of folks who define the word survivor, like 20-year-old Cassidy Huff, who's not only faced adversity and stared death in the face once, but now twice, Steve.
First, she fought off cancer. Then she found herself in the middle of this shooting scene and told 13 Action News reporter Gina Lazar she is not done fighting yet.
I'm still trying to figure out what it was meant to teach me.
But if this last month taught Cassidy Huff one thing, it's that it's not her time to go.
I feel very grateful.
The 20-year-old was diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer last August. She finished her last round of chemotherapy a few weeks ago. Her first scans post-chemo came back clear.
I feel really good. I feel free.
Cassidy's mom surprised her with tickets to the now infamous country music festival, Route 91.
Overjoyed to see her having so much fun.
But that quickly changed Sunday night.
Oh my gosh, because I just couldn't believe it's happening.
Cassidy already looked death in the face one time. How could this be happening again? She and her mom took off running.
In my brain, I wanted to run so fast, but my legs just would not let me. They just kept buckling.
That's when off-duty LAPD officer Mitchell Tosti stepped in to help, scooping up Cassidy like a baby.
You could tell they were panicked. She looked tired, so I grabbed her. She was only wearing one shoe when I saw her,
It's like, I'll carry you.
The nightmare started at 10:08. Cassidy and her mom were home in Henderson by 11:15, thanks to another Long Beach police officer that drove them home.
I don't think I've ever seen that many people like jump in to help other people. It was really amazing how brave those people were, and I wish I could have done that.
Gina Lazara, 13 Action News.
And we can't forget tonight to recognize some other heroes. All of you at home, tens of thousands of you headed out to the blood banks to donate, took supplies to the Red Cross, whatever you could do to help the victims of Sunday night's tragedy. In fact, so many of you jumped in to help. The blood banks and donation centers had to start turning people away because they simply didn't have the room. So a very sincere thank you to all of you at home tonight who were there for Southern Nevada and the Las Vegas community.
We had stories of people driving in from California and Utah to try to donate blood. So they were doing everything they could. When they found out what happened, they immediately rushed over here. We can't forget the hundreds of first responders either who were literally running toward the gunfire to save lives.
That's right. One Clark County firefighter who was there with his wife, who when all of the chaos broke out, he didn't hesitate at all to help. He shared his story with 13 Action News anchor Beth Fisher.
I was really trying to reassure my wife right before I left that this is going to be over soon. Metro's really good at their jobs. They're going to get this guy. You know, it won't last that long. There was a brief break in the gunfire, and that's when I told her, hey, just run that way to the Tropicana and don't stop.
Clark County firefighter Travis Haldeman says his training kicked in, and he raced to help a man who'd been shot in the leg.
Picked him up on my back and told him, I'll get you out of here. We're 2-3 steps away from their cover, and we had 3 shots ring out 5 feet in front of my feet.
What Travis didn't know is that his wife Haley couldn't get out either. She hid under a platform in the middle of the arena.
We all started praying, you know, and saying the Lord's Prayer just over and over and over again.
Travis carried 2 victims on his back into the medical tent.
That's where I met a young girl who'd been shot in the back. She got shot in the lower back, really close to her spine. And she was worried and really panicked.
While Travis cared for the girl, his wife had one sobering thought.
One of us has to make it home to our kids.
Eventually, Haley was able to run to safety. She knew she would see her 2- and 3-year-old again, but she didn't know if she'd ever see her husband again. Travis was unable to call, heading to the hospital in the back of a truck with that young girl.
She stood up for the first time today. So that was pretty incredible.
That was really special.
Despite what they've been through, the couple says counseling has helped.
There was one bad man that night and hundreds of
thousands
good people that night and thousands since then.
Beth Fisher reporting, and we'd like to show you something truly amazing that shows the true number of heroes out there. This is the Las Vegas Victims Fund on GoFundMe. It is $9.9 million right now and counting, and it's been, we've watched that number of donations just go up exponentially over the past 5 days since all of this happened. And it says a lot to show you that not all of the heroes were actually at the scene, but we definitely want to mention people in the hospitals, the staff at the hospitals who were taking care of people as they were being rushed into the emergency rooms.
Absolutely. And also the gaming companies, Steve, they all offered, a lot of them, free rooms, and the airlines worked with people. And McCarran said if you lost your ID, you had to just go to the ticket counter. So there's been an amazing outpouring of love and support here in this community.
No matter how much hurt you have inside, you know, it's mixed with that feeling of pride.
And when we come back, we will hear from the doctors and nurses who gave it their all to treat all of those injured in the attack as we continue to honor our heroes.